life when you've got to speak your mind. Or eat your words. Or eat your words. Walking straight into the open, keeping promises unbroken, looking over every option, something saying.
Hello, welcome back to the Football Terrace. Timo Werner has agreed terms with Chelsea Football Club. It appears Liverpool are not going to try and come in and hijack the deal. It's almost done. It's almost completed. All is left now is dotting I's, crossing T's. Agreements have been made between the clubs. Agreements have been reached between the player and, of course, Chelsea. Agents, of course. It's now just going from a done deal to being a completed deal. And this could happen in the next 24 to 48 hours. It is a massive piece of news. It is a massive piece of news for Chelsea Football Club. It's a brilliant signing. And as I said the other day, I didn't see this coming. Honestly, I just felt everything coming out of Liverpool was Liverpool propaganda to try and drive the price down. And I think they were winning. I think Liverpool were winning in that negotiation. They were only willing to offer around £120,000 per week in salary. They were trying to drive the price down to around 40-odd million pounds. And Leipzig were losing. This is the fundamental fact of this conversation. Leipzig were losing the negotiations. Liverpool had the power. Werner was... he was flirting, like a cat during heat, walk around with his tail up, pushing out those pheromones, giving it the big one. He wanted to move to Liverpool. But it's about showing people their worth. Chelsea come in and they meet the valuation of the buyout clause. They then offer a £200,000 a week contract and say, Timo, we know you want Liverpool. We know you want to go there. However, we value you more than Liverpool Football Club do at this time. We will pay you the going rate for one of the best strikers in the world. We'll pay you the going rate to come and play for a top 6 Premier League team. We're not going to haggle with your club. We want you. We're not going to try and shave 5 million or 10 million pounds off this deal. We want you to come in now. We want you to be part of this club. We really, really do. And like I've said already, me as a YouTuber talking about these stories in the newspapers, I have my opinions on them. When I get them wrong, I hold my hands up and say, yep, I got that one wrong. And I felt that Liverpool wouldn't allow Werner to join another team. If I was a Liverpool fan, I would be slightly concerned at the moment. If you end up, because if you've now, this is what I would say to you is this. You're saying no because of the finances. You're saying no because a player, if you look at his salary, for instance, and we worked this out with you on the air, I was thinking about this morning. This is how you're going to know whether Liverpool are chatting BS or not. Okay, it was £49 million for the signing over a 5-year period. Although Leipzig have said they don't really want to take installments, they might have to pay the whole thing cash up front. That still isn't an issue because football clubs can take very low interest loans, which doesn't mean they don't have to use cash reserves. So if you really want the player, it's there. He's going to be paid £200,000 per week as an example at Chelsea, which is 10 million a year. So that's around it's over 50. It's 50 odd million pounds. It's 52 million pounds. So you're 52 million plus the 49 million pounds. It's going to cost you just over 100 million pounds for this player over a 5-year period. Over that 5-year period, he's going to cost you 20 million pounds per year. My point to you is this: let's see what else Liverpool do this summer. Because if Liverpool pull out a different player or an alternative who's in and around the same amount of money, who ends up costing them similar, then we know it wasn't to do with finances. If Liverpool don't, and they don't want to spend that kind of money, then fair play for them pulling out and not wanting to offer £200,000 per week in salary. But let's just see what else happens before you kind of now you're flagged to the mast, as it were. And I know Liverpool fans are going to back their club. We just need to wait to see what comes out the other end of this. And that's pretty much the rhetoric that Liverpool are spinning in this situation, is that they decided to not go ahead and sign Timo Werner because of COVID-19, the financial implications, and they couldn't afford it. Now, I think, in my view, it's a case of, I think if they'd have got him for 40 odd million and could have paid him 120 grand a week, they'd have done it. But Chelsea have then pushed that barrier up. And that is what happens in these transfer deals. And we say this all the time on the Football Terrace, that a deal can look almost completed and done. Another football team can come in and change the landscape.
another football team can come in and turn somebody's head, no matter how much that, how desperate a player is to come and join you. And what I would say to Liverpool fans is this: if Timo Werner truly had a deep, deep desire to only play for Liverpool, he wouldn't be accepting Chelsea's offer. He may have said that. He may have finessed all of us in convincing us that Liverpool was the club, Klopp was the guy. But it clearly isn't. It clearly isn't. Van Dijk didn't flirt with anybody else. Van Dijk waited. Naby Keita waited. Look at Bruno Fernandes at Man United. He waited. I think Timo Werner was more desperate to come to the Premier League than he was anything else. And it's going to be frustrating for Liverpool fans. It is. And we all have to just take it on the chin. I truly didn't see this deal happening. Forget the banter. Oh, you got that one wrong, Terry. Yeah, I've got an opinion wrong. We all get opinions wrong every single day. If we all had to stop talking because we get opinions wrong, 95% of you in the comment section here wouldn't be able to ever talk again, because none of you, you all said that Rashford would get nowhere near 20 goals this season. And these things happen. We just accept it and we move on. But from a Chelsea fan's point of view, we've got a video dropping a little bit later about how brilliant he'll be from a tactical point of view, assessing some of his goals, his assists, and how much. But I was sitting a lot doing some statistical analysis, him versus Tammy. The improvement in player that you are going to be getting is absolutely off the chart. Let me just throw this little statistic out to you. Timo Werner scores in 72% of games where RB Leipzig are in losing positions. So when Leipzig are losing, 72% of the time, Timo Werner scores. When Chelsea are in losing positions, Tammy Abraham has scored in 0% of those games. That, for me, is a huge statistic that he's focusing on. That's spread over the course of this season as an example. 0% of games. You're talking Werner and him. The goal scoring record is really good with both. We know that, but sometimes you have to look at the small detail. Where clutch, 72% versus 0% is a dramatic improvement. And look, I'm not saying Tammy's not going to get there. I'm just saying right now you bring somebody in who's brilliant. A few people here saying Werner will play on the left, Tammy as a striker. I'm not too sure. Again, 77%. 87% of all games Timo Werner has started in his career have been central. So I don't know if he's suddenly going to become a left winger. That wouldn't make any sense to me. 92% of his goals and assists come from starting in a central position. But what he doesn't do is play off the shoulder very often. He does drop a little bit deeper and he flirts out to the left and right. He doesn't start primarily as a left winger. When you look at the breakdown of where he begins in games, but he's more fluid than Tammy. He leaves those central areas more. So maybe there's a way. Maybe you drop the number 10 in Mason Mount and you play the secondary striker. It's pretty much the same role. Hipsters don't like it, but it is. But there we go. We'll drop that video a little bit later. But I mean, Chelsea fans have got to be very, very excited about this. They do. Liverpool fans, I get their guide. This is going to be the interesting thing. How long until we start to see Liverpool fans talk about him being overrated? That's going to be the interesting point. And I think Chelsea only now need probably a left back. If Chelsea can bring in a top level left back, maybe centre back as well. Chelsea are going to be a threat next year now. There's no doubt about it. And I'm never salty on here when it comes to speaking facts. And with Ziyech, Werner, with Hudson-Odoi, Pulisic, Mount, Tammy, as a collective, that is dangerous. That is dangerous. Do you know what? It's not as good as Liverpool's front three, but it's got better strength, if that makes sense. So if you guys have your main three out, your substitutes are better than Liverpool substitutes now in that area. And again, that isn't going to make you catch up the 30-odd point gulf between the two of you. That's going to take time because, of course, you have to fix defensively. You have to fix midfield. You have to stop you have to stop losing the ball in transition, as an example. But yeah, from my point of view, it's a really good piece of business by Chelsea. Not going to deny it. I've been waxing lyrical about Werner all summer, so I'm not suddenly going to change my mind about that because he's thinking, because he's going to be going to Chelsea. Comment here says Ziyech is yet to kick a ball in the Premier League, and Chelsea fans are talking like he's Ronaldo. Well, because we've seen him deliver in the Champions League, and that's the thing. When you see someone deliver in the Champions League, when you see somebody deliver internationally, when you see somebody deliver against top teams, it fills you with the confidence that they can do it. And yeah, he may not work. He may flop. But listen, let Chelsea fans be excited. Let them be excited. It's as simple as that. Top Dog here, we know as a Chelsea fan, says, I've always wanted Werner as our striker for over a year now, and I'm simply excited about the signing. All we need is a top-class left-back and a top-class, world-class centre-back. No, I agree with you. If Chelsea went out now, so I think Ben Chilwell is pretty good, to be fair. Not everyone does. But if you signed Ben Chilwell and Koulibaly, if you pulled off those two signings this summer as well, Chelsea are suddenly a threat. Chelsea are suddenly, you're suddenly a team that I look at and think you could go and win the league next year. Like it wouldn't be the craziest shout in the whole world. It wouldn't be a weird prediction to make. It's one that I think holds water. Listen, I've got no love with Chelsea. I love bantering the fans and everything else, but I won't sit here and talk and pretend that the two signings already made. By the way, Chelsea have made two signings outside of windows now. Everyone said, "Oh, it won't happen, Terry. Stop talking about transfers outside the window." These things do happen. Chelsea are making ripples. Serious ripples. There's no doubt. This comment here says, I've got a horrible feeling that Liverpool are going to spend very little again this summer. Shame he looked tailor-made for Liverpool. Do you know what? I've been watching quite a lot of Timo recently. The man's got a bag full of tricks. He can dribble. I'm not gonna let the cat out of the bag for the video we've got dropping later. You're gonna have to make sure you tune into that because it's something new we're doing. But yeah, Werner versus Liverpool could have benefited even more from this guy. I sat up last night for 3 hours watching footage, watching breakdowns of his play, watching his touch, watching his passing. This geezer is so talented. Trust me when I tell you, he is so talented. He is not just a tapping merchant. He isn't just a Michael Owen. He can dribble, he can pass, he can create. He's got speed, deceptively quick. And that's always interesting because he's not someone that's spoken about as being a speed merchant. But trust me, man can run. Timo Werner's coming in a lot older than Eden Hazard. But trust me when I tell you, he could in the next 5 years, for the amount of games he plays in that 5 year period on a ratio basis, I think he might outperform on outputs Eden Hazard. I think he's that talented of a player. Now, you may not think he's as good ability-wise, and I don't really care about that. But I think he's going to come in. He could score with the amount of chances that Chelsea create. And that's what you've got to focus on here. Chelsea create bags and bags and bags of opportunities and openings. This boy is going to put them away. It's going to happen. It's really going to happen, in my opinion. Comment here says, Liverpool need a top signing to boost energy, getting Koulibaly, and that's a boss defense for them. Sell Lovren and even Matip. But this is what I've said already. If Liverpool end up signing a big player this year and spending big money, it shoots a hole in the bow of the excuse that they didn't go for Werner because of money. Maybe they don't look at Werner as a priority in the same way they do a centre-back or another midfielder. That's a different conversation to have, and that will come out in the wash. I think what's also important to focus on is the fact that Liverpool know this. I'm not teaching them anything new. I'm just saying how Liverpool are in a situation where if you're going after a player of Kai Havertz's level, Timo Werner's level, you're not signing them to make you better. You're signing them to maintain yourselves as the best in England and maybe still the best. I know they're not going to win the Champions League this year, but they're still one of the best, if not the best, on any given day at the moment, Liverpool. So when you're signing someone to come to your club, now, Werner's asking for first team status in terms of, you do this on the computer games where you're given a status of first team player, regular backup. Players are given statuses like that at football clubs. When you're bringing someone in to be an important first team member to maintain you at the top of the tree, you've got to pay them a premium for that. This isn't the Liverpool of 4 or 5 years ago, even 2 or 3 years ago, where you're bringing in players to say, like, we're here, we're trying to get back to the top table. Can you help us? You pay less money for players in that situation. You're now saying we're the best in the world. Do you want to come play for us and be one of our new strikers? Remember, a lot of Liverpool fans we're talking Timo Werner being what I'm seeing a lot of people now saying is Timo Werner's a backup, would have been a backup. It's too much money for a bench player. No. Most Liverpool fans on this platform are telling me You could fit all 4 of your attackers now onto the pitch, play Firmino in a 10 role. He'll play lots of games. You need him for the rotation. That isn't a bench player. That isn't a backup player. That's a regular first team individual. You can't sign anybody like that and not pay them a premium. But the problem you then have is all the other players in the squad want to have pay increases. And this is one of the reasons we didn't really address, but this goes back to what I've said all along. When you're in Liverpool's position, you have this brilliant squad and a brilliant team. Adding new players to it is very problematic because the new players want first team football, which can create disharmony if it isn't managed right. And I'm sure Klopp can do that. But they also come in and want more money. Hang on, you're the best team in the world and you want me to come in and keep you there. Pay me for it. Because you're now the best team in the world. Your earnings have gone through the roof. Sell out stadiums, people around the world buying your shirts, new sponsorship deals, huge prize money. You want me to keep you there? Pay me. And then after I've got, hang on a minute, but I've been here the whole time. I'm on 80 grand a week. He's new and he's getting 200 grand a week. Well, I want a pay increase. Suddenly everyone wants a pay increase of 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, some people 100%. Suddenly your wage bill is increasing by tens of millions of pounds a week. That is hard to manage. That's what comes. That's why, when you see these smaller teams have their little resurgences and move up to the top, that's why they don't hold on to their players very long. Because everybody wants to start being paid. Imagine Leicester City from 2015 stayed at the top of the league winning titles. They almost wouldn't be able to afford to do it because the players, but hang on, we're winning Premier Leagues. We want to be paid like Premier League champions. We've got people finishing 5th that are earning 200 grand a week and I'm on 60. They all then want pay increases, but the club can't afford to do it. So it has to sell people. This is where you have to balance things up and you have to put your money where your mouth is sometimes to maintain it. But look, Liverpool are a big club. They've got lots of money. I'm still not 100% convinced it's money. They didn't sign Werner on because I still think they'll sign other players, but the proof will come out. The proof will be in the pudding, as they say. Marble Horse here says, I agree, Terry. It can upset the balance. I don't think Liverpool will win the league as easily next season, if they even do. City, United, Chelsea will improve. Look, next year is going to be a real interesting one. We have no idea how that's going to look and how it's going to feel. I think, do you know what will be interesting? Liverpool fans are not going to worry about this decision in the short term because for the next 2 or 3 years, Liverpool are going to win more trophies. They're going to be just as dominant. It's going to be in after the next 2 to 3 years. Who's coming through? How does Brewster improve? Can they sign? Can they get? You got to look at it this way though. Minamino as an example may end up really kicking on for the end of this season and going into next year, and nobody really notices because he's a name that's kind of forgotten in these conversations. So I'm not writing Liverpool off, and I'm not worried about Liverpool. Of course, I'm a Man United fan, but I just don't think you can be the best team in the world and go 2 summers without making a major signing. And I say that because Liverpool fans have been telling me for the last 3 months it's all about improving the squad. If you don't improve the squad, you're not doing what you say is needed. Yeah, there's something that don't feel right in all this to me. But let's see what happens at the end of it. Let's see what happens. It'll be very, very interesting. But Chelsea fans, you pretty much got your man. He's agreed terms. Clubs have agreed. It's just literally finalising detail. And this is the interesting part. I do still kind of think that Werner's holding out. There's a little bit of me that thinks Werner's still waiting for something to come in from Liverpool. So waiting for some little thing to come in from Liverpool. I know they said no, but let's watch this space. He could be a Chelsea player in the next 24 to 48 hours. But who knows? I'm sure there's going to be another kind of twist or turn. And an interesting point here is, Terry, what about the African nations? Well, this is the interesting thing because a lot of Liverpool fans weren't worried about Werner starting on the bench because they felt that he'd play a lot during the African Cup of Nations and he'd be needed. Now what happens during that time? But I also heard the African Cup of Nations might be moved into the off-season next year anyway, but we'll see what happens with that. But there we go. Listen, everyone who's tuned in, thank you. Hit the like button, share button, retweet this, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you all again soon. Bye-bye.